and welcome to Traditional Medicine Podcast. I am your host, Cara Lovick. Today we have something really, really special. We're going to break down that Coca Reading video that I had posted up on our YouTube channel. So what we did was we asked the Kiro whether or not marijuana was a medicine. And just to recap on what traditional indigenous healers view as medicine, because it's very different from the way that we view medicine in modern societies. For traditional indigenous healers, medicine is not something that you have to take forever. It is not something that suppresses symptoms. That is not considered medicine to traditional indigenous healers. What is considered medicine is something that has the power to change you spiritually, emotionally, physically, energetically, and that change that medicine creates changes the trajectory of your life. So it is very deep healing, and it heals in many different layers. Now, before starting this episode, I would suggest that you check out episode 9, Traditional Indigenous Healers and their alliance with Mother Earth. Also check out episode 10, What are the Coca Readings from the Kiro all about? This is really going to give you a foundation so that you can really value what you're about to hear. So let's get started. But before we do, I have one more thing that I want to bring up. Someone in the Reddit group that I'm in brought something up to me and they said, yeah, Cara, but why would the Kiro know about marijuana? They have no experience with marijuana. How would they know if it's good or bad? It's not native to that area. It's not a part of their tradition. And to that I say, well, check out episode 9, check out episode 10, because the place that they're accessing with those Coca readings houses all truths, past, present, and future. This is how it's possible to do prophecies. This is how it's possible to look into somebody's energetic situation to provide recommendations for healing. This is how we're able to find lost llamas in the fields, right? It's because we're accessing the place of all truths, and that's made possible through the connection, through the communication that we have with Mother Earth and the sacred mountains. Let me tell you a story that's really going to illustrate this point precisely. And it's really the story of how me and the Kiro began our collaboration to help alleviate addiction for people. One time I was volunteering for them and we came across someone who had bad addiction. And I said to them, hey, listen, what if we incorporated Kambo into this healing? Because I am a Kambo practitioner and, I have this background in Amazonian healing. So what do you think? And they said, we've never heard of Kambo at all before, but let's check with Coca to see if it's a good medicine and also if this medicine is going to help with what we're trying to do and if this is a good combination between both medicines, right? And I was like, great, awesome, do it. And so they did it, and it was really cute because they were pronouncing Kambo completely wrong. They were like condom or something. I mean, everybody in Peru was just like, what is this? And they did the reading and they said, yeah, this is really good medicine. Definitely administer it and we will be able to collaborate on this and it's going to be great. This person's going to recover. This is going to be good for them. So that's how we ended up working together on the addiction plans to help people alleviate addiction urges. And again, they didn't know what this medicine was about. They couldn't even pronounce it, but I had sent a picture and I sent the name and that's all they needed. And with Coca, they were able to find out that it was in fact a good medicine to use and overall that it was a medicine. So just so that you know that, as we move into this episode. Now, if you're just tuning into this podcast, you're probably a little confused about what I just said, but let me tell you a little bit about what we talk about in this podcast. In this podcast, we talk all things high Andean and Amazonian healing traditions of Peru. For 9 years, I've been volunteering for various healers. And for more than half of that time, I have been with Amazonian healers and high Andean Kiro healers. So this is really just about me distilling all that experience, also using my contacts with these healers because, like I said, I volunteer for them. I still do. And so this is really just about me being able to make those connections and also being able to help you understand these traditions a little bit better. go ahead and check out traditionalmedicinemiami.com and find out a little bit more about how we work with the Quechua community. The Quechua have a center in Juanaquite, Peru, and Traditional Medicine Miami is really an extension of that work. So they do work remotely. They do incredible work remotely. And they also have a center in Juanaquite for cases that require travel. And also it's open for anybody that wants to learn. So I am basically the assistant here. I'm the volunteer. I'm good friends with the Quechua, and I help them in any way that I can. And I also help people that need their healing any way I can. And just let me know. Shoot me an email. Go ahead and check out some of the plans. If you're interested in any really incredible traditional indigenous healing, I will help you facilitate. Just reach out to me and I've got you. Also check out Instagram. We are on Instagram as well, Traditional Medicine Miami. All right, so let's get to it. Let's talk about this Coca reading we did with the Quechua to determine whether or not marijuana is a medicine or not. So I want to tell you a little bit about how this all came about. So I am in an ayahuasca Reddit group because I've been volunteering for Amazonian healers for months at a time for various centers, facilitating ceremonies. Sometimes I was drinking with the healer and facilitating at the same time, doing translations, teaching English at the village, whatever they needed, I was there and I was, learning. And this was years. I even got to coach Josh Gates from Expedition Unknown before his first ceremony. I've been in contact with a lot of people. I put in a lot of time, a lot of mileage, and so I know a thing or two. And so I was in this ayahuasca group. And I put up a poll to see who thought marijuana was a medicine. And about 80% was like hard yes, for sure. And marijuana, is a touchy subject, but I wanted to look at medicine in the way that traditional indigenous healers look at it, because it is, after all, a traditional indigenous modality, part of the Amazonian modality, ayahuasca. And so, I wanted the definition of medicine to be what they believe medicine is, which is something that can change you physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and really like change the trajectory of your life. So 80% thought marijuana was a medicine. And then I asked, well, who is in this group? Who is the one that's answering all this stuff, right? Who has what? Who are we listening to? Well, 0.6% were traditional indigenous healers, born and raised. Not surprising. 1.5% was an employee, volunteer, or apprentice for a traditional indigenous healer. And 1.8% was a practitioner trained by a traditional indigenous healer. So you are talking about less than 5% of people who have put the time in to be close to these healers, right? So that was, and it was really a heated thing because people, even though I was like, listen, this is what Amazonian healers have said. This is what high Andean healers had to say. And it was very heated. People really love their marijuana. And I get it. I'm not going to fight you over it. But I do want to make sure that we amplify the voices of traditional indigenous healers in these spaces and these modalities, because it's their modalities. So when I say, hey, an Amazonian healer, this is what they got to say. This is what, a traditional indigenous healer has to say. I don't want you to counter it with like Terrence McKenna, because he is not a respected shaman or lineage that I know of. And we need to at least, set the bar kind of high, because otherwise we're going to, we're going to get stuck in some sort of weird echo chamber. So this is why I'm doing it. I got the Quechua to do a Coca reading to see if marijuana is or is not a medicine. So we asked Mother Earth herself and the sacred mountains to see if what was going on. And look, before I do the translations, I want you to know, hey, this isn't about making you feel bad. I'm not your mom. I'm not some person this is not what this is about. This is not it at all. I just want you to have this information, and I want you, most importantly, and what we want you to have most importantly, is an option. So you don't have to get stuck doing, using marijuana. If you do get stuck, you just know that you have us. You can always turn to at any time. You can even say, you know what, I'm done with it. I want to try something different to heal. Hey, we've got you too. We just want you to have the options. That's all. We don't want you to ever get stuck in a place where, you don't want to be. Hey, and it's just food for thought. You don't want to stop. You don't have to at all. We just want to make sure you have everything you need. That's all. So with that said, I'm going to do the translations. And you can also check out the video on YouTube and you can read along. We have Quechua subtitles and also we have the English. All right, now, I am from the village of Quiros. My name is Amaru. From the community of Peru, from the healing houses in the village of Juaniquite, I will be asking questions to Mother Coca. Let's see now about the United States. And here he's putting down Coca and reading it. If you see the video, you can see it. No, brothers and sisters, don't utilize the marijuana for your bodies. You are damaging them. A better course of action would be if you came to the village of Juaniquite, to the healing house, and together with Mother Earth and the sacred mountains, we will be happy to help you. We are from the village of Quiros. All right, now, Apu San Miguel, Huamanlipa. Now, tell us the truth for our brothers and sisters. Is this marijuana okay? This is the second time he puts down Coca to ask the question. Is it good or is it not good for the people? Is this marijuana a medicine? No, this marijuana, sisters and brothers, is not a medicine. It's not good. It's not a medicine, this marijuana. This marijuana? No. In vain the people are using it. And in fact, they're going to be worse off with this. With that, Mother Earth and the sacred mountains say, Mama Coca says, this marijuana is not good for the people, for our brothers and sisters. This marijuana is doing much more damage to our brothers and sisters. More damage than good this marijuana is doing. A better course of action would be to come to our village of healing in Juaniquite. In Juaniquite, gladly with Mother Earth and the sacred mountains will help you gladly down the correct path so that you get there, so that you have work, brothers and sisters. This has to be. This marijuana is not good. All right, again, we will ask Mama Coca. Now Amaru's putting down for the third time Coca to read and ask the question again. Let's see. Is this marijuana good for our people? Is it good? Is it good? No, it's not good, Sister Gladys. This marijuana is not good. Better would be to work with Mother Earth and the sacred mountains. With joy, we will work. With joy, we will make things better so that you have good energy, so that you go down the right path. I invite you to come to the village of healing. The village of healing of Juaniquite and the village of Juaniquite will gladly help you, brothers and sisters. No, Sister Gladys, don't go near or utilize marijuana. It's ugly. It's very ugly, this marijuana. It's not a good medicine. This is what Mother Coca says. All right, so that was the Coca reading. Amaru did a Coca reading 3 times to ask the same question, and all 3 times it was a hard pass on marijuana. Marijuana was not a good medicine. It was said that marijuana does more damage than good, that marijuana is actually making people worse, that the people are using it in vain, and that it is really not leading to the right path. So he suggested, hey, why don't you guys instead come over here and we'll help you. We'll gladly help you but with the energies of Mother Earth and the sacred mountains, because the sacred mountains and Mother Earth say that marijuana is not for human consumption, which was mind-blowing. Because can you imagine if we've been advocating for like an energetic poison this entire time, and obviously we don't know any better. Listen, I used to smoke too. Not excessively, not a lot, but every once in a blue moon, I thought it was harmless. That's what I did when I was stressed out. But this was like early on. And then, if they caught me smoking, it would have been like slap to the head. And I actually did get in trouble. I remember with Gardell, and he was really upset that I did that because there was a complication that came from it. And then later on, when I was basically initiated with the Curo, I was able to see even more how marijuana is really a problem in terms of energetics. But, that's the crazy thing to me. It's like, what if we've been advocating for something that's really, really bad, something that could really, really hurt people, energetically speaking, and in other ways, because they say that this is actually damaging our bodies. And a lot of people will say, well, the science says this and this and this and that and that and that. And it's like, well, I think maybe science doesn't know everything, because that's kind of the point. And if traditional indigenous healers are saying it, if not only the high Andean healers are saying it, but the Amazonian healers are saying it, and then people that have been trained with them are seeing this, it's a good reason to believe that there is something off. There's something that we need to look at. There's something that we're missing here, because when all traditions start to come together to say the same thing, that means they're accessing the same truth. That means that they are seeing something. That means that all these people are seeing something that the rest of people are not. Why? Because we don't have access to all the tools that traditional indigenous healers have in modern society. Science is always evolving. There's always new data. There's always new information. There's new theories all the time. And the thing about traditional indigenous healers is that they can really catch things a lot earlier, because they don't have the barriers that science has in terms of collecting everything tangible in that senses could capture. I mean, it slows things up sometimes. And these traditions have been around for thousands of years without having to worry too much about, well, documenting this, documenting that. And we love biomedicine. We love science. Science is really, really important because it really studies the physical, but we can access answers that science cannot quite reach through the tools that we have in traditional indigenous medicines. So that is it for today. And again, I just want to recap. The only reason why we put this stuff out is because we want to make sure we amplify traditional indigenous voices in these spaces that belong to them. They created them. They are the innovators. It is really scary when we don't include them in these spaces. We want to make sure that whether you agree with it or not, their voices are heard. Also, we want to make sure that people know they have an option. We're not here to judge you. You don't have to stop smoking if that's not what you wish to do. I think will is really important, and in time, everything will figure itself out. But we want to make sure that we are reaching people that think maybe that they don't have any other options, right? Because biomedicine has run out of solutions that could help them alleviate anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation, and all these other things. What we're saying is, why don't we give traditional indigenous healers a try? We have so many more medicines. We have so much in alternative and complementary medicine that we don't know about because we've been bullying traditional indigenous healers out of the healing space. So with that said, we care very much about you. Think of us as your big sister, big brother, big, elders that just care about you. We just want you to have this information so that if anything goes wrong, you already know. We already told you, and you know what to do. We're always here to help you in any way. You just have to reach out, and we'll be happy to help you. So that is it for today. Thank you so much. I am really happy that I was able to share this with you today, and I look forward to hanging out with you next episode. Have a good night or good morning wherever you are, and we will be in contact again soon. Go ahead and reach out also on Instagram, Traditional Medicine Miami, or check out www.traditionalmedicinemiami.com to check out healing plans if you are interested. All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.